A is Agnetha Fältskog's 12th solo album. When it was released in 2013, it was my first ever experience of a new album by any of the ladies from ABBA. I'd like to quote one of the songs from the album. "I can't believe it's really you. You still look the way you used to." I will never forget the experience. Today, it is exactly 10 years since the album came out. So let's experience it one more time. Let's celebrate the album, the songs, and Agnetha Fältskog.
I'm so glad to be here tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Hey. So, Agnetha released 7 Swedish solo albums between the 1960s and the 1980s, and from the 1980s onward, 5 albums in English. A is her 5th solo album in English and her most recent album to date. In 2013, it was her first album in 9 years, and the first one in 26 years with original songs which were exclusively written for Agnetha. When it comes to these songs written for her, I personally feel that they are really written for Agnetha. These songs truly capture her spirit, her feelings, and in turn, she captures the emotions of the songs terrifically, in my very own opinion. We will go through all 10 songs from the album track by track right away. But to understand it slightly better, for context, let's take a brief look first at where Agnetha was at this point in her life. So A was her first album in 26 years with original songs. We can truly ask, all this time, what have you done? Something that is very important to understand is that Agnetha said that she celebrates and appreciates silence. I felt there had been so many different sounds in my head, too many songs and too many lyrics. I get stressed when there is more than one sound going on at the same time. There were phases when I was so relieved to be back home. From the end of the 1980s, she basically decided to go private. For a couple of years, I had the sensation of having achieved so much. I needed to focus on me. When I have some time off, I want to spend it with my kids, grandkids, and my dogs. I stumbled across a nice comment here on YouTube. Someone wrote about Agnetha. "You will be remembered as one of the best voices in the world, and also as the best mom, to whom her parenthood was more important than fame and money." In 2004, Agnetha released her album My Coloring Book, capturing the spirit of her youth, the spirit of herself as a person and artist, by singing songs that shaped her life as a young teenager. She said several times that she thought this would be her final album. Since then, she was occasionally seen out and about, simply enjoying her life, being at parties and sometimes even at premieres. She somewhat came together with Frida, Björn and Benny in 2005 for the Mamma Mia musical in Stockholm, and again 3 years later for the Mamma Mia film premiere. In 2009, she came back with Frida to accept the Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of ABBA. In January 2012, Agnetha was honored with the Elle Fashion Legend Award for the Shining Superstar, A Voice in a Million, a Fashion Legend. You are forever our dancing queen, Agnetha Fältskog. Around that time, at the end of 2011, work began on Agnetha's next album. So what exactly did make her come back to music? The story doesn't seem to be too complicated. 2 producers from Sweden had 3 songs for her. She said that she instantly liked them and that she just wanted to do this. And more simply, quote Agnetha, "That's my job. That's something I can do." Because of the longer break from recording music, she thought that she needed singing lessons. In the end, she took 2 lessons and realized that she could sing. She also said that someone once wrote that Agnetha Fältskog goes from 0 to 100 immediately. She agreed with that, and I think that couldn't be more perfectly captured than on this album and the whole project. They worked on the album for 1.5 years. It was recorded at Atlantis Studio in Stockholm, formerly known as Metronome Studios, where she also recorded her previous album My Coloring Book, and where ABBA recorded many of their albums as well. A was also recorded at Lighthouse Studios in Lidingö, the old place where ABBA once lived. Amongst the musicians on the album are Per Lindvall, one of ABBA's important drummers, and even Agnetha's daughter Linda on backing vocals. Most crucially, the album was produced by Peter Nordahl and Jörgen Elofsson. Elofsson wrote all the songs, some of them in collaboration. His goal was to make a record that was a continuum of Agnetha's solo career before ABBA. He was just recently part of a documentary, being one of many admirers of ABBA. So he seems to understand ABBA's spirit and, in my very own estimation, wrote not only a superb set of songs that suit Agnetha's experience and her style, but he really wrote some of the best songs that were ever written for Agnetha's solo work. Again, in my opinion. So let's go through all 10 songs from the album, track by track. The One Who Loves You Now. Let's imagine we are listening to the album for the very first time. We are waiting to finally hear Agnetha sing again. And then she comes with the first line on this song, with incredible vocals, crisp and crystal clear. Wistful memories, hopeful. We first have a distinctive piano intro, then we hear some strumming guitars, rolling drums, and finally a beautiful orchestration with a chorus and some nice guitar sounds at the end. We also have another classic trademark of Agnetha's solo albums. Magnificent harmony vocals throughout the song. They sound very breezy, with some self-harmonizing by Agnetha herself. This track was the first song that was presented to Agnetha, a demo sang by Swedish singer Janet Leon. Agnetha's first reaction was, "This already sounds fantastic, why do you want me to do this?" Janet Leon, by the way, sings backing vocals on the album. The One Who Loves You Now also became the first single from the album in Germany and Austria. There is a catchiness to this song, like the intro on piano and the chorus, which really stays in your head. And the very same goes for track 2, When You Really Loved Someone. Since this was the first single elsewhere, and one of the first 2 songs we heard, there is a nostalgic feel to it, especially, again, with a breezy opening to the song, an intro which is so nostalgic for me. Agnetha's vocals bring the song to life, and the orchestration lifts it up even more. This time, we also have synthesizers throughout and a very cool instrumental bridge with synths. There are some deeply hidden backing vocals at the end in the final chorus. The song has a beautiful production, and it also gave us the one and only music video with Agnetha herself. Perfume in the Breeze. What a terrific composition. When I was listening to it recently, after quite a long time, I was so thrilled with the melodies and the variations throughout. I'm no musical expert, but I think there are some great unexpected twists, especially in some variations in Agnetha's vocals, at the end in the final chorus, when she sings, "I push my sorrows in the car," in a different key. During the bridge, her vocals are somewhat distorted, which we also have at other points in the album. And Agnetha is self-harmonizing again, already in the verses. What a song, what a scenery. It's so picturesque. You are on the beach from that very first line. The beach is a lonely place this time of year. It feels slightly chilly, and you have these great lines in the chorus referring to the wonders of nature as a wonderful metaphor for love. You vanished like a rainbow from the horizon of my heart. Left me seaside. You vanished like a shadow in the darkness of the seas. And you'll bring summer back again. References to nature, weather, and the elements reoccur throughout the entire album. And it's not only these lyrics and Agnetha's way of storytelling, it's the overall package. The breezy production, the whistling, it all captures this feel and vibe of the story so perfectly. I Was a Flower. What can I say? This is the first real ballad of the album, and what a ballad it is. An emotional song, tragic and dark. It's Agnetha's storytelling at her very best, delivering some incredible lyrics. But now you walk right through me like I'm an empty ghost, now when I need you the most. Once I was innocent, beautiful, life had just begun. I was a flower, now look what you have done. Jörgen Elofsson, superb lyrics, superb songwriting. The metaphor of the flower is so well written in some of the lines. I followed you like a river follows the sea, a blossom by your side. I wither in a haze. Some of you have compared the general feel of this song to a later recording, ABBA's I Can Be That Woman. I Was a Flower was also released as an orchestral version, stripped down with no drums, highlighting the magnificent orchestration work and arrangement, especially some wind instruments in the foreground and Agnetha's voice on top of it all. In this alternate version, the song works just as brilliant. Throughout her career, Agnetha always had duets. It's kind of another trademark of hers, and even goes back to the early years, one duet with a guy called Björn Ulvaeus. And she had duets during the 1980s. On this album, we are finally returning to it, again, for the very first time since 1987. I Should Have Followed You Home, featuring Gary Barlow, who co-wrote the song with Jürgen Elofsson. Yet another incredible track on this album. A slow, ominous introduction. It starts with lines that are somewhat self-reflective. Super catchy chorus and lyrics, an up-tempo track that is so uplifting. When Agnetha was asked in an interview about one of her favorite contemporary artists, she said it was
Gary Barlow. And when I heard his voice on this song, I thought, my God, how will I match this?
They didn't record the song together since she was on holiday at the time, but they met afterwards, and this duet also gave us the incredible climax of this whole chapter of A, an unbelievable turn of events. For the first time in 25 years, in November 2013, Agnetha made an appearance in front of a large audience at the Children in Need Rocks concert, organized by Gary Barlow, to perform the song live on stage. Not only was the whole appearance and staging more than epic, this version of the song is so great with an extended, upbeat introduction and great vocals. It seems that it was an interesting mix of live and pre-recorded vocals. Some of them don't sound live, especially the wall of vocals coming together in the chorus. But I'm sure there are live vocals as well, particularly during the verses. This performance was such an unexpected, incredible highlight back then, a highlight in Agnetha's entire career, to be honest, and I don't think we could have had any better song for this historic moment. Talking about bravery. We know that Agnetha has stage fright, but she's also feared of flying. So on that day, she flew to London, and on the very same day, took the stage to perform in front of a large audience. The bravery! It's such a great inspiration, and Agnetha really seemed to have enjoyed herself. We can only bow to Gary Barlow for all his accomplishments in achieving this historic moment. I Should Have Followed You Home was the fourth and final single from the album, released 1 week after this performance. Instead of a traditional music video, we got an animated version with lyrics, with cartoon versions of Agnetha and Gary Barlow in a snowy scenery. I always thought this video was very beautiful. In fact, I think something in that style would have been so great for a song like ABBA's Don't Shut Me Down. Side B of the album opens with a second ballad, Past Forever. From now on, we realize that it's always up-tempo and ballad and variation. The flow throughout the whole album is absolutely impeccable, in my opinion. It's so good, and this is yet another magnificent ballad. You might realize, as I do, that it's so hard to pick any favorite on this album, or even a few favorites. Every single song is so good, and it works so well as a whole. Past Forever is a beautiful story of a love to someone and from someone from the past, which was so strong that it lasts forever, even though you simply can't be with that person. I should thank you endlessly for the way you made me see it's not the destination, it's the journey. Do you know that I keep you in my heart forevermore? Past forever, that's a long, long time. What a beautiful, touching song, heartbreaking all the same. It was co-written by Carol Bayer-Sager. Elofsson went to the United States to co-wrote this song with her. Agnetha was so surprised because Carol Bayer is one of her favorites. Among many contributions, Bayer also worked with Michael Jackson, and she co-wrote several songs with Neil Sedaka, another favorite of Agnetha. And once again, this song, Past Forever, is another prime example of the beautiful orchestration that flows throughout this album. It's so delicately produced and mixed, a marvelous performance from the Royal Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra, recorded at the Stockholm Concert Hall. This was one of 4 songs from which we actually got raw footage from the recording sessions of the orchestration. The other songs are The One Who Loves You Now, I Should Have Followed You Home, and Bubble. Dance Your Pain Away. This song came to Jürgen Elofsson in a dream. Not so much the song in and of itself, but the idea. He dreamt of someone who said to him, "Don't forget about us." And Elofsson realized there needs to be an anthem on the album, a gay anthem. What can I say about this track? In my opinion, this is a pop disco masterpiece. You got this cheerful introduction, punchy drums, a bass line that was compared to ABBA's Voulez-Vous, piano and synthesizers, an amazing rhythm, and all of it punctuated with these awesome strings. We have vocals on echo, ooh-ooh harmonies throughout the chorus, and crazy vocals at the end. Of course, it's so catchy, again, as all the songs on this album. Whenever I play it, these songs are stuck in my head for quite a while. Not necessarily because all of them would be catchy, but because there is such an intensity throughout, at least for me, when I listen to this album. Dance Your Pain Away was the third single from the album, released in the summer of 2013. Got a video with fans dancing and reached number 1 on the British radio charts. And Jürgen Elofsson again delivers a great set of excellent lyrics. Get back on the floor, don't give them what they're waiting for. Let there be rumors, pay no attention, lock your tears inside and show some pride. Once more, this song is Agnetha. Show some pride. Just look at her interview on Swedish TV from the time. She's talking about how she went through hard times in her life, and yet look at the way she's handling it with so much dignity, bravery. Show some pride.
Ja, den kommer och går.
Men du tror fortfarande på mig?
Ja.
She captures all of these complex feelings throughout this amazing album, and Elofsson captures Agnetha in his songs for her. Bubble. You see what I mean? How can I possibly choose favorites from this album? But this song was mentioned by Agnetha herself as her favorite song from A. She likes it very much, and she said that she hasn't done such a song before in that tempo. She compares the feeling to singer Sade. Elofsson also said it's slightly new territory for Agnetha, a bit more jazz. And again, it's the overall package. The intro, the backing track, is literally like a bubble. The lyrics, time means nothing here. We let the past, the future disappear inside this moment. What can I say? This is Agnetha. It's about that moment in time.
I'm not a person who looks back or looks forward. I try to live in what is now.
When she talked about her art of singing, of storytelling, she said that it's like a film roll. It's just that, at the moment you sing. It's nothing else. It's just like being in a bubble. And Bubble, the song, captures all of these thoughts, her essence. It also works as this song where we as listeners are one with our singer, Agnetha, where she lets us into this wonderful moment. Back on Your Radio is more of an easygoing song in mid-tempo, a great fit between the final two ballads. And again, with orchestration that is so subtle. This song has a super catchy chorus again, and beautiful high vocals during the chorus. Agnetha's voice seems to be slightly treated, which is fitting to the tone of the song's story. Jürgen Elofsson has so many great metaphors throughout the album of expressing love and heartbreak. The beach and the surrounding nature in Perfume in the Breeze. The flower itself in I Was a Flower. Certainly the bubble before, with rainbow skies again. And now the signals that Agnetha is sending, like a radio shadow. And finally, how to better end a terrific album as this than with Agnetha's very own composition and the very first one to be released since 1985. I Keep Them on the Floor Beside My Bed. She actually wrote 2 songs and this one was picked. She thought it would be a simple lullaby, but then it was turned into a love song. I think it has some fascinating chord progressions and e-guitar slides throughout, symbolizing the pain and memories. The intro of the song, the first few notes on piano, actually remind me a lot of I'm Still Alive, the song she wrote for ABBA's final concert tour in 1979. For this final song on the album, her own composition, Agnetha delivers superb storytelling one more time, on heartbreaking lyrics. The memory starts to flow. I feel you even in my dreams. And again, a picturesque scenery, summer nights together. A song about lost love and deep regret. I never thought I'd hurt this much. My heart would break so easily. Her voice breaks every now and then. There are even male backing vocals throughout the end. The final line is, "Why is love so hard to understand?" And that's how the album ends. That's how Agnetha leaves us pondering. It's another prime example of how much of Agnetha really seems to be in this album. On every single track, in every lyric, in every orchestration crescendo, in the way she acts these songs out. In my opinion, A is 10 very strong songs, some of the very best in Agnetha's solo legacy. An incredible cohesion and terrific flow. There are references to nature, weather, the elements, even in the promotion itself and the visual design. The snow in the animated video, the rain on the single artwork, or the flowers on another single. The album makes references to more analog times, the vinyl scratches that opens the first song, the telephone voice on the final track. And the production of the album is such a great mix of traditional sounds, instruments and orchestration, yet at the same time is a modern record. An amazing achievement by Peter Nordahl and Jörgen Elofsson, really doing an album for and with Agnetha. And most importantly, I feel that Jörgen Elofsson understood perfectly what to write for Agnetha and how to use her voice. Agnetha herself gives us one of the most captivating and brightest vocal performances, yet another beautiful 12th album in her solo legacy. Remember the quote from the beginning, Agnetha Fältskog goes from 0 to 100 immediately. She certainly did this time around, one more time. That pertains to the album and the music, but certainly for the whole marketing campaign as well. We got music videos, many beautiful photo sessions, extensive interviews for television, radio and newspaper, and even an interview in front of a live audience on Swedish TV, which I think is one of her best appearances ever. She's so funny, honest, and even flirtingly. And you can really see her 17-year-old shining through every now and then in this marvelous interview. We also got a special Q&A with Agnetha, and she even sent personal video greetings to some people. We got behind-the-scenes videos, a full 1-hour documentary about Agnetha and the album, an Australian TV special. Agnetha did a stage appearance in a nightclub in London, a personal meet and greet with 10 lucky fans, and that live performance on stage. Many social media pages were opened for Agnetha. We got a track-by-track commentary for the album on Spotify, and of course, many alternate versions and remixes of the songs. All these remixes for I Should Have Followed You Home and Dance Your Pain Away are magnificent in my opinion. I really enjoy them. Again, look at this massive marketing campaign, all the things she's done, and everything we got. I would say this was by far one of the best, if not the very best, promotional tour for any of ABBA's solo works. To be honest, it may even top the promotional campaign for ABBA's very own final 3 albums, especially Super Trooper and The Visitors. If this should be her final one, what a way to go out. A reached number 2 in Sweden, Denmark and Switzerland, and the top 10 in 8 more countries. It was her best chart position in the UK, on number 6. The album received gold in Australia, in the UK, in Germany and in Sweden. Agnetha appreciates and celebrates silence. But one more time, she really let loose and gave us all these incredible memories. With dignity and bravery. Only 4 years later, she was back, with Frida, Benny and Björn, to record new songs for ABBA after 35 years. Well, here I am again, and I love you still, and so I won't pretend. I have learned to cope, and love and hope is why I am here now. And today, we are celebrating 10 years since Agnetha's most recent solo album. So let me know what you think of A. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and my dissection of every single song from the album. My personal thanks go out to Stan G and Kevin M for the very generous super chats. They say merci and thanks bro. And I say massive thanks to you. This is really appreciated I will always give my personal thanks in my videos for any upcoming super chats. And keep an eye out on this channel, we have some amazing revelations concerning ABBA's concert tour from 1973. Alright, until then, hey do!